shower, but that will be the best day of the weekend, 67. A few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder Monday afternoon, 65. And still the threat of showers Tuesday and maybe even Wednesday as well. That's a 7-day forecast. The news at 6 continues.
From WTEN Albany, the news team that's leading the way in local news coverage, on air and online. This is News 10 at 6.
It's the police chief versus the mayor in the city of Rensselaer, and today's round goes to the chief, with Mayor Mark Pratt being arrested for stealing gasoline. Good evening, I'm Terry McSweeney.
I'm Elisa Streeter. Rensselaer Police Chief Rick Fusco gave the mayor until high noon to turn himself in. Pratt refused and was taken into custody shortly after 12 this afternoon. John Craig has been following the story of small-town politics. He has tonight's big story, joining us live from Rensselaer now to sort it all out.
Well, Lisa, the mayor has made no bones about wanting the chief out, but they continue to coexist here behind me at City Hall. They pass in the hallways from time to time. They attend meetings together. But today they met under much different circumstances.
It's ridiculous, and these charges are unfounded.
It's not a sight you see often. A city's mayor being hauled off and booked by the city's police chief. It's for allegedly stealing gasoline from a city account.
No other part-time mayor has ever received a carte blanche gas purchase. The city deserves better than elected officials who condone corruption.
Mayor Mark Pratt claims that as a part-time elected official, he got permission by the city treasurer. He says otherwise, and he should have gone through a mileage reimbursement account.
I guess I'm just upset about the whole thing was handled. It's a black eye for the city, having it handled this way and everything.
The truth will come out. This is just an attempt on the chief to discredit me, to discredit the city, and it won't be tolerated. And, you know, enough's enough.
Pratt is charged with 32 misdemeanor counts of petty larceny and misconduct for using the city account to gas up his car. The time frame was last September to mid-March.
For the first time as a resident of the city of Rensselaer, I am ashamed to say that I live here. For the first time since taking office, I can honestly say that I am embarrassed to be the mayor of the city of Rensselaer.
Unlike the mayor, I am proud to be a resident of this city and proud to be the chief of police of this city. A job I will continue to do, and Mayor, I'm not going anywhere.
Pratt is only the third Republican mayor ever to be mayor here in the city of Rensselaer. He is due in court 1 week from today to face these allegations. And what do the residents think of all this? They'll all have their say tonight at a regular scheduled council meeting. Live from Rensselaer, John Craig, News 10.
John, one quick point. He's accused of stealing or taking the $456 worth of gasoline. But if he'd turned in the vouchers as they wanted at 35 cents a mile, he would have gotten $1,800 from the city. So in the end, he saved the city quite a bit of money.
Yeah, that's a good point that he pointed out to us. That's right. He thought with these cards that was an economical way to do things. There's no policy on the books. So he thought he was, in essence, as you said, saving the city money. We'll see how it all plays out. He says he will pay the money back if he has to.
All right. Thank you very much, John.
2 arrests today in the death of a Warren County teenager. Police there say a brother and sister, 22-year-old Jennifer Brown and 17-year-old Trevor Brown of Scroon River Road in Warrensburg, are charged with unlawfully dealing with a child. It's a misdemeanor. Police say 17-year-old Jason Daniels was drinking at a keg party at the Brown camp near Pucker Street in Warrensburg on Sunday before crashing his car head-on into another car later Sunday morning. Jennifer Brown bought the keg and gave it to her brother and Daniels to the party. Warrensburg Junior and Senior High School will be closed tomorrow for Daniel's funeral. Traffic backs up for miles on I-90 this afternoon after a crash caused by a man fleeing police. News 10's Jennifer Leake joins us from our newsroom with more on the story. Jennifer.
Terry, it all started at a seatbelt safety checkpoint on Hazel Street in Brunswick just before noon. John Scott of Queens allegedly refused to stop. Troopers gave chase. Scott took off heading south on 787 to I-90. That's when the crash happened. Scott made a U-turn just west of exit 6. Susan Heller of Rensselaer was driving eastbound and crashed into Scott's car. He suffered minor injuries. The 31-year-old man jumped out of his car, hopped the guardrail, and ran down the embankment. Troopers chased him on foot, and with the help of Albany police, they caught up with him. You can see Scott lying down in the back seat of the squad car. Police are now investigating why Scott took off and why, after troopers stopped chasing him on I-90, he continued to drive erratically and made that U-turn.
Coincidentally, there was a marked police car up ahead here, unrelated to this situation. They were on another assignment. I'm assuming that he saw that vehicle and then made the U-turn, thinking that it was set up for him.
Investigators say John Scott was driving with a suspended license. That could be why he set off, but they're checking to see if there's more to it. For now, he's held on a number of charges and traffic violations. In the newsroom, Jennifer Lee, News 10.
All right, Jennifer, thanks very much. Elisa.
Well, a developing story to tell you about now from New Haven, Connecticut, where there are reports of an explosion at Yale Law School. And Steve Ammerman has been following this breaking story, and he brings this to us now. Steve.
Elisa, according to a Yale spokesperson, somebody had put a device in a classroom in Yale Law School. It went off just a short time ago, causing quite a scene. Witnesses say there was a loud boom, saw the boom flying. One girl who was in a classroom nearby said she saw actually a wall from the alumni lounge collapse. Another said that part of the roof collapsed down. But overall, the building is structurally sound, we are told. Several classroom doors also blew out. Some windows were broken. You can still see some smoke billowing there out of the law school, which is basically in downtown New Haven there at Yale University. Now, the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force has been called in to investigate this explosion. They're not calling this terrorism as of yet. We don't know whether it's domestic, international, or somebody just had a beef with Yale University, but it did come just a short time, a few hours after President Bush, a Yale grad himself, was at nearby New London at a Coast Guard ceremony, a graduation ceremony. So still a lot of questions to be answered. We also don't know the extent of injuries at this point. The police are trying to do a head count right now to find out how many people could have been injured or were in the building at the time. So far, though, it doesn't appear that there were that many either students, faculty, or staff who were in the law school when the explosion happened. But certainly a developing story, and we will keep following it for you as much information comes in. Terry.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Well, Christy Todd Whitman denies that she's stepping down as the nation's top environmental watchdog because of differences with President Bush. Whitman claims the president always wanted her honest opinion on the toughest of environmental choices. The EPA says her departure will have no impact on its plans to dredge the upper Hudson River for PCBs. And Governor Pataki scotches rumors that he might like to succeed Whitman for that EPA job. Nursing home workers are coming off the picket lines after a tentative agreement with the home management. Union workers at the Rosewood Gardens Nursing Home in East Greenbush and the Gilderland Center Home went on strike 77 days ago, protesting unfair labor practices. Well, today, the nursing home management company and the union came to an agreement that a union representative calls a great contract that will set a standard for nursing home staffing in the capital region.
And we'll be right back.
Next, from the area's #1 evening news team.
The country is in a high state of alert, and the pressure is on the men and women who walk the beat, their homeland security. Are they up to the task? I'm Priscilla Ress, News 10 Investigative.
Terry McSweeney, Elisa Streeter, Chief Meteorologist Steve Caporizzo, and Dan Murphy with sports. News 10 at 6 continues.
Credible threats against the U.S. have forced the national threat level up. Yesterday, the Homeland Security Office raised the terror alert level from yellow or elevated to orange or high. It's prompted a tightening of security countrywide. Man, with the nation on higher alert, we are depending more on our local police.
Since 9/11, the job of the local cop on the beat has changed. Priscilla Ress shows us how police are being tested and how the results may affect us all.
No, they certainly will. Anti-terrorism was something safe for international spies, not local cops. Now, with the terror threat high, we need to know, are the officers walking the beat ready to serve and protect and combat terrorism? This is what cops are trained to deal with. Robberies, beatings, shooting.
It sounds something like a 1080.
Even hostage situations. The job has always been to protect lives and property. Now there's a new threat and a new job description since 9/11.
Any mass casualty or major trauma incident that would occur, we would obviously have to be prepared for just about anything.
Because Albany is a capital city with prime targets.
We've got City Hall, we've got the Court of Appeals, the county courthouse.
The Capitol, the Plaza, the legislative office buildings, the Corning Tower.
A high-rise building at the seat of the Capitol. You know, as you look at it, you know, here on the boulevard, it's really not that different in makeup from the two towers in the World Trade Center.
Patrols and police presence is increased to protect our water supplies, bridges, roads, churches, mosques, synagogues.
Biggest concern is the unknown. I do a lot of planning and I do a lot of research. I do a lot of investigation into terrorism, biological weapons and the like, but also crowd control.
Remember, demonstrations occur constantly downtown and can attract a terrorist. Any mass gathering, teachers, nurses, police. Commander Lenny Crouch says there are more police officers on the street.
Depending on the threat level, we actually increase the numbers just to make sure that we're not caught off guard.
More cops, new equipment. For instance, the city just spent $64,000 on gas masks for officers. $24,000 came from the federal government.
We got this isolator unit after 9/11.
State Police Chief Technical Sergeant John Curry runs the bomb squad. He says this isolator unit was added to his arsenal for biohazard threats, almost unheard of before 9/11.
You put your hands in the glove box. This barbecue's up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
More new equipment.
In this business, we worry about everything because we can improvise anything. We can make something out of a common household product that could be harmful to everyone.
We have to be America, the strong, the proud, but all the knowing, and we have to make sure that we're vigilant.
Look at what's going on in the world, and you know that suicide bombers are another big war, and something that we have not seen on U.S. soil yet. Meantime, John Curry is retiring, all fingers and toes intact. We wish him luck, but I'll tell you something. He says there are not a lot of people lining up that say, I want to take his job.
This is some danger involved, but I would think that for the right person, it would be a challenge. It would be something that they definitely want to do.
I would think that it would be a challenge, but I would think that the threat becomes more and more real, especially as we're seeing today, that maybe you look and say, there's other lines of police work I'd rather be in. I'd be safer in.
All right, thank you, Priscilla. Well, we want to take a moment now to set the record straight on something we reported a few weeks ago. On Monday, April 28, 2003, Channel 10 broadcast a story about a development in a lawsuit that attorney John Aratakis has brought against the Albany Roman Catholic Diocese and Sister Ann Bryan Smolin. Our story included a characterization of Sister Ann Bryan Smolin's sexuality, which was unwarranted and unsupported by the allegations in the case. Sister Ann Bryan Smolin is a member of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet. Members of this order take a vow of celibacy and live a communal life, including sharing living quarters with another sister of that order. We regret this incident and apologize to Sister Ann Bryan Smolin.
Well, volatility reigned on Wall Street today, sending the major indexes to a mixed close.
On a positive note, the Dow had its first winning finish in 4 sessions. Take a look at the day's closing numbers.
News 10 is sponsored by Dad's Pet Foods.
Well, Steve,
Well,
you've had a few minutes to think about that forecast, and have you updated it anyway?
No. We just added a couple of different weather maps in for the 6 o'clock news, but it hasn't changed anything.
Forecast is the same.
Hopefully at 11 we get more information and we'll make some adjustments for the better. Let's check the high today.
65. It happened, believe it or not, at midnight. The low at 52, record high 92, and the record low 32. 1949. We have some bright spots showing up in the overcast, so it's slowly drying out. All right, folks, let's check in with our News 10 weather watchers this evening. Temperatures are on the cool side in the 50s. Bob Scott out of Fort Hunter, 58. A little bit better out of Cherry Valley, where skies are clearing out. 62, mid-50s, the Melody Lodge and Speculator, Jackson, 55, 51 up at Grafton, low 50s in Schoharie, 56 Lennox, and in the mid-50s at the Bennington, mostly cloudy skies. Cold front now shifting off the New England coast, but it's slowing down, and behind it, cooler and drier air will be working in for tonight into at least the first half of tomorrow. Here's that cold front near Cape Cod, a little bubble of high pressure kind of necking down, nosing down over us. And along this front, that's where we find the showers and the rain that we had earlier today along the New England coast heading out to sea. But the complicating factor here is the front's going to stall out over the southeast. And notice As you get down to North Carolina and South Carolina, there's ample moisture, a lot of rain, some thunder and lightning, and this moisture will begin to work its way up the coastline beginning tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Here's a more conventional look at the radar, and again, there's that range through Virginia and North Carolina. I wish it was going to head out to sea and miss us, but unfortunately that does not look to be the case. Tomorrow we'll squeeze out, the way it looks now, a dry, cool day. Clouds may try to increase later tomorrow afternoon, and there'll be some rain breaking out down towards Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. Temperatures tomorrow about 8 to 10 degrees below normal, but again, mostly dry. About 64 here. Schoharie, a high temperature of 63. Bennington, Pittsfield, low 60s. Glens Falls at 64 for an afternoon high tomorrow. All right, part number one of the storm will be Friday, as one low tracks up towards Buffalo. But notice to the south, there'll be more rain breaking out with that second storm over the Carolinas. This will be the more important storm. So periodic rain on Friday with a cool east wind. And then on Saturday, there's going to be a pretty sizable coastal storm near Chesapeake Bay. And this storm will track up towards Long Island by Saturday afternoon. So an east wind, that means cold weather, chilly weather in the 50s. And right now it looks like a pretty good soaker, but I think the majority of rain should be over by Sunday morning. All right, forecast near 40 tonight, partly cloudy and chilly. Tomorrow, a mix of clouds and sunshine, a dry, cool day, 60 to 65. Rain arriving late tomorrow night, 45 to 50. Periods of rain on Friday. It's going to be a cool day, 55 to 60. Tomorrow in the Berkshires, becoming partly cloudy tonight, 35 to 40. Tomorrow, some sun, cool, 58 to 63. 7-day forecast, rain on Saturday, 56. Some sun on Sunday, just a chance of a shower. A better day, 67. Then a few showers, maybe thunder. Monday, 65. And Tuesday, another chance of showers in the 60s. So Sunday will be all right. Not great, but okay.
All right, Steve. There's been a late and great addition to the field for next Saturday's Fryhoffers Run for Women. We'll have that when we come back.
And we'll hear from New York Giants coach Jim Fossil and the son he's finally getting to know.
News 10 is sponsored by your local Toyota dealer.
News 10 returns in a moment with the Capital Region's best sports coverage.
Mr. Murphy's here with some a new star in the running.
Some running, well, in addition, she's been a star for a long time, but she's going to be coming back. Organizers of the 25th anniversary Fryhoffers Run for Women we're looking for one more star to round out their field for this year's race, and they got her. Defending champion Marla Runyon has decided to compete in the race a week from Saturday. Runyon coming off a U.S. best 5th place in the Boston Marathon, though legally blind. She has established herself as one of the top women's distance runners in the U.S. In fact, she's ranked #1 right now, 3,000 meters, 5,000 meters, and the marathon. So great to have her back in town. The girls have the sectional lacrosse spotlight today. Class A semifinals, Columbia hosting Niskayuna and stealing the spotlight. Columbia's Lindsey Piper, she poured in 9 goals, added 2 assists, as the Lady Blue Streak stopped Niskayuna 15-8 to advance on to the semifinals. Well, last week we told you the incredible story, the reunion of New York Giants coach Jim Fossil and his wife and their 34-year-old son, given up by the couple for adoption when he was 3 days old. Today, the Fossils and newly found son, Jim Mathiasen, met the media for the first time as a family.
It was hard when you're 18, 19 years old. You wonder if you're doing the right thing, and at the time we felt like we were doing the right thing. But the way this has all turned out, to find our son, we're convinced it was the right thing to do.
It's a neat story, and it's fun to tell, but who he is doesn't really matter to us. The fact that, you know, we've extended our family by so many more people, who he is doesn't really matter.
And the Hanukkah countdown continues. Soren Stam played in the Colonial Pro-Am today. Rained again, but she got in 18 holes. Preparation for tomorrow's historic round with the men.
I hope she does well. I think that most everybody out here, I think the majority is really pulling for her to play well.
A couple of things. No NFL playoff expansion. The owners meeting in Philadelphia today decided that the playoffs are good at 12 teams right where they are. And you're going to love this one. The folks from Sackatoga Stables have won again. They had a horse in the second race at Belmont today. 11-1 shot. and they bring him home. I just got off the phone with Jack Knowlton. I said, Jack, you got to be kidding me. I'm going to have him pick my lottery tickets these days. Paid $24.80 to win. This is Wed in Dixie. This is the horse that they chose at the yearling sales a couple of years ago instead of Funny Side. Then went back later, of course, and bought Funny Side. But this was their original choice. Had him running today. He wins. Barkley Tag Training. How he went off at 11-1, considering what a role these people are on, is surprising, but they win again.
The stars are aligned well for them right now, aren't they? We'll recap the top stories of the day next.
News 10 is sponsored by Toro.
Your local, national, and world news update. It's News 10's Rush Hour Recap for viewers just getting home.
Rensselaer Mayor Mark Pratt was arrested, fingerprinted, and had his mugshot taken this afternoon. He's charged with 32 misdemeanor counts, including petty larceny and official misconduct for allegedly stealing gas. The political head of the EPA is giving up her position. Christine Whitman says she wants to spend more time with her family. She says her departure has nothing to do with rumored clashes with the Bush administration. I-90 was brought to a standstill after a man fleeing police caused an accident. Police say 31-year-old John Scott jumped out of the car, ran down an embankment where police caught up with him. They say the whole thing started after police tried to stop the car for a seatbelt check. A Colony man is under arrest, charged with selling illegal cable boxes. Time Warner Cable caught 21-year-old Robert Burns selling the boxes on the Internet. The Albany County Sheriff's Department caught Burns last night during an undercover sale. And 20-year-old Jessica Malachek in court this morning to be sentenced for a deadly crash where she was allegedly high on ecstasy. But when she got to court, Malachek refused to admit she had taken the drug. Judge Stephen Herrick is looking into whether that refusal of admission jeopardizes her plea deal to receive 6 months in jail. Terry.
Thanks, Elisa. Be sure to tune into News 10 tonight at 11. Steve Ammerman will be live from the site of that explosion in a mailroom at Yale University in Connecticut. We'll have all the latest details on that developing story. Right now, Sharman Sacchetti and Ryan Nobles with a look at what's happening on News 10 in the morning.
Imagine owning your own business by the time most people are just graduating college. Young business leaders coming up tomorrow. And we'll have the inside scoop on the Times Union's best of issue. Plus, we'll bring you all the breaking news from overnight. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, Ryan wasn't there.
He was here in spirit, though.
He was there in spirit. And tonight at 11, we're going to have more information on...
We'll update the forecast, and hopefully it will be better for Sunday and Monday as opposed to Saturday.
All right. Thanks very much. World News Tonight with Peter Jennings is right now. See you at 11.
Good night.